Hi friends, this is Tracy from the Sewing Channel. The other day, I did a fabric haul from Hobby Lobby. While I was in the store, I was inspired to buy this piece of wood. Now you all know I am totally obsessed with my wood clapper. Here's the wood clapper that I bought online. It was over $20 just for this tiny piece of wood. It's just raw wood that has been sanded down so that you don't get any splinters. There's no lacquer on it, nothing. Wood clappers are awesome for quilting or for garment sewing. They help the seam lay nice and flat after it's been ironed open. I'm a total believer in the wooden clapper. If you try one, I know you will be too. So I was inspired when I went to Hobby Lobby. Now, mind you, I only spent $2.49 on this piece of wood. This piece of wood is already flat. I already tested it on a flat surface that it wasn't warped or anything like that. And the good thing about this piece of wood, if it ever does get warped, we'll be able to go back to the Hobby Lobby for $2.50 and get another one. The first thing I'm going to do is just lightly sand around this piece of wood. You may want to lay something down on your table so that you don't get any shavings on it or glue when we get to the next step. There was only just a few rough spots, really. If you have an electric sander, you can go ahead and use that very lightly over it. I wouldn't go full on with it, but just lightly. They had all different shapes there too. You can get almost any shape you want. Run your hand across there to see if you have any rough spots. I can sort of feel where that sticker was, so you'll want to make sure that you get over that spot. Okay, one last time, run your fingers over it just to make sure you don't want anything to catch, nothing at all. I have a finer grit sander here that I'm just going to run over it just to smooth everything off. Feels really smooth. You can find any of these sanders at Walmart or any Home Depot or Ace or anywhere. I believe they may even have them at the dollar store, so check there too. Brush everything off, all the dust. Make sure you're working with a clean surface again. Wipe all the dust off. We have our nice, soft, sanded piece of wood. Here I found this handle at the Goodwill. I believe it was a couple years ago. I sometimes will find neat little things at the Goodwill and I'll just throw them in my woodworking stash area so that I have them when I need them. And this caught my eye because it was very solid and just made of good quality. And I just love the vintage look of it. So instead of putting a knob handle on this, I decided that since it was so wide, I was going to put this handle on it to where I'll be able to just grab it up like that. The trick to this is going to be find the center, and then I'm going to drill, because I'm not going to use any screws in this because it's not that deep. So this right here has some knobbies that stick out. So I'm going to drill just a tiny hole area, slide this in there with some Gorilla Glue. And that should do it. First, we're going to find the center. I think that looks about good there. So I'm just going to lift these up, and where those holes are on the brass, I am going to just mark with a pencil. We're going to take our handy drill. You can see here that these are only about 1/4 inch in depth, and so that's all the farther I want to go on this wood. you use any sort of normal knob, I think you're going to be fine. I just need to add an anchor down there because there is nothing to hold that. This is just some really strong poster tape. It's double-sided. So I'm just going to anchor that down and see if that'll be okay. I'm going to cut a round edge on this double-sided poster tape because the handle has a round edge on it, and so it'll hide better, I think. We'll wait and see how this dries. Maybe we might need to add a little bit more glue in the wells there. But you can see there that just holds that. That's on there pretty good. Hopefully once this glue dries, I'll be able to lift that with no problem, and the glue and everything will stay nice. But we need to get a weight and put a weight on top of that. So I'm just going to lay a soft towel over that. I'm just going to put my handy dandy quilt block book right on top of there. Now we'll let it set for a few hours and we'll be back to see how it works. My clapper is looking pretty good right now. But does it work? Here I've sewn a 1/4 inch seam allowance right down the edge. Let's set our seam. You see, before I only had about 3/4 in length of this board. So I definitely did need a longer wooden clapper. This handle is so easy for me to pick up. I have arthritis in my hands, and I love to put knobs and handles on all of my rulers and anything that causes me trouble to pick up. This is a winner. But it honestly only wins if it works. So let's take a peek. Oh yeah, beautiful. That seam is so flat. Let me assure you, this seam is definitely flat, a lot flatter than it would be if I did not use the wooden clapper. They are truly a game changer. Until next time on the Sewing Channel, take care.